Next, we'll talk about storage, starting with tanks. So this first slide shows that in many of our tanks, we actually have a roof that floats on top of the fluid as the fluid goes up and down. So if you look at the left, it shows you if we had a tank, just a standard steel tank with liquid in it, then we'd have a surface, and on the top would be vapor. So the materials, the gasoline, diesel, crude oil, would vaporize and come to the surface. So in order to keep this from happening as much, we have a roof on the top, and this started a number of years ago from a regulatory requirement, probably in the 70s. Not required to have a roof on all surfaces or all fluids. It depends on the vapor pressure of the fluid, but very common to have a roof, and so it floats up and down, and above the roof there's no vapor, but there's less vapor than there would be if we didn't have a roof. So we have floating roofs on a lot of our atmospheric storage tanks. Picture of a couple tanks here, very standard in a refined products terminal. If you look on the left, we have an external floating roof tank, EFR, and over here on the right, we have a cone roof with an internal floating roof, an IFR. So if you look at this cone roof tank, you can see up here there are little openings that looks like vents, and those are what they are. They're vents, so that whenever the roof that's in this tank floats up and down, if it comes down, it can allow air to be drawn in. If it comes up, then whatever's above the roof will be displaced out. Now, one thing that happens on about a 5-year frequency, something like that, is people are having these tanks painted, and the painters will tape up these vents, and somebody will forget to tell the central control room that they shouldn't operate that tank, and they'll begin to take suction from the tank, and the level of the fluid in the tank falls, the roof goes down, creating a vacuum, and then the tank is sucked in. I was teaching this class, classroom instructor-led training last year, and a fellow said, yeah, we had that happen just the other year. So one of the little watch outs you need to have, so external floating roof tanks and internal floating roof tanks.